Good morning again and good evening again. This message is very specific to the community of South Sudan. South Sudanese worldwide in Australia, Canada, here in the United States, Europe, and inland. By now, you would know that the president is in South Africa seeking treatment, and he will be going surgery. The country right now is under the leadership of Mama Nyandengdit and Taban Dengai. These are the two gentlemen running the country while the president is taking treatment. All right. Question came this afternoon. In the event if the president returned back from South Africa and is not able to perform his duty, what is now the next chapter? Well, the next chapter in this, South Sudan is not President Kiir. South Sudan is the people of South Sudanese, the citizens that make South Sudan a home. More than 60 million of us have the right to maintain their country. South Sudan, again, is not Salva Kiir. So one man is not the country. The country is 60 million of us. In the absence of Salva Kiir, or with Salva Kiir or without Salva Kiir, South Sudan will still be here. So let's not get it twisted that in the event Salva Kiir is not here, somehow the country will plunge into civil war, or somehow the sky will just drop, or people will just die and whatever. No, Salva Kiir Mayardit is just a citizen like you and I. He just happened to be a president of South Sudan. Like I said from the beginning of my statement, that the president of South Sudan is in South Africa seeking treatment. He's more likely to undergo surgery, and there's possibility upon his return he may perform his duties or he may not perform his duties. But as of right now, as I speak with you, the country is being run by Mama Nyandengdit and Taban Dengai. That's the information we got here in our desk as of this afternoon. Salva Kiir told us and told the world without him, South Sudan will plunge into civil war. I must remind again, South Sudan is not Salva Kiir. South Sudan is all of us, the South Sudanese, the people that make South Sudan a home. South Sudan was never John Garang. South Sudan is not me, as Bolakum. South Sudan is all of us. So in the absence of one person, it does not change the fact that the country will go on. To the leaders of South Sudan, as we continue to watch unfolding end of Salva Kiir Mayardit, we must always restrain from violence. We've seen time and again to have waged absolute useless wars that don't have any meaning whatsoever. We have betrayed the trust of our people to whom we fought the liberation struggle to. We betrayed them. We left our loved one living in displaced camps within our country. Mama Nyandengdit knows very well. Taban Dengai knows very well. Those of you, Taban Dengai and Mama Nyandengdit, who are now running the country in the absence of Salva Kiir Mayardit, I suggest to you to maintain peace and harmony of the people of South Sudan. South Sudan interests internally and internationally is bigger than personal interests. Whether Salva Kiir will make it back or he will not make it back from South Africa, it will not change the fact that South Sudan will be here long after Salva Kiir is gone. So we should not dig our head in the sense that without Salva Kiir, then somehow South Sudan history will come to an end. Before Salva Kiir, there were other men before Salva Kiir. They were founders of South Sudan liberation struggle. And people would think it was just John Garang who founded it. No, absolutely not. There was a gentleman called Abdallah Shawl. If you ever heard of his name. There was another guy called Samuel Gaitut, if you need to be reminded. There was another one called William Yuan. There was another one called Corbino Kwanyenabol. 4 of these gentlemen were the founders of the SPLM-SPLA, not John Garang. John Garang came as the operational executive leader, while SPLM-SPLA was founded by these gentlemen. So one might be true to suggest that, yes, Salva Kiir Mayardit was a father of a nation who brought us to independence. That's true. Absolutely, that credit will never be taken away from him. No one will ever deny that fact. And that's why I suggest earlier, whether he come back from South Africa and perform his duties or he doesn't come back from South Africa, it should not change the fact that this country is bigger than Salva Kiir, is bigger than all of us. And one person should never hold all of us hostage for personal interest. Should never hold us hostage. America will be willing to work again if there is an atmosphere that will allow international relationship with South Sudan. America would be more than willing to extend their arm to work with South Sudanese government. If there's a government that is willing to understand how global society works. But the government we have in Cuba is a mafia group based on only self-interest and not based on the aspiration of the people of South Sudan. So while Salva Kiir is in South Africa, having said that earlier, and having to remind all of us, he will be going under surgery. As of right now, as I speak with you, the country is being run by Taban Dengai and Mama Nyandeng. These are the 2 vice presidents left with executive power to run the country in the absence of the president. Whether he come back and perform his job, or he doesn't come back and perform his job, it should not change the aspirations of the people of South Sudan. South Sudan will continue to go on. As the president is seeking treatment, we should collectively pray for him and his family to overcome whatever the situations on their way. Because they are our citizens, they are our South Sudanese brothers and sisters. They just happen to be called president or executive. They're not gods of South Sudan. They're human beings like us to whom we give the mandate to lead us. So no matter what disagreement we have with Salva Kiir Mayardit, it would not give any one of us a wish him harm whatsoever. We should only pray for him to return back in peace, to return back to the country where he was born. It is his country like anybody, all of us country. First and foremost, he's a citizen of South Sudan like anybody else. He has the right to return back to home. He's a citizen of South Sudan. He's a president of South Sudan still yet until someone decides he's no longer president. As far as legitimacy goes, we know that the mandate obligation of Salva Kiir Mayardit and his presidency happened to end about 2 to 3 years ago. So this country has been run through from independent to the present through just on transition. People will tell you, oh, Salva Kiir was elected by who? Elected by who? If I have good memories and you have good memories, the only thing that we did was referendum. Referendum led to independence. There was no election whatsoever. But because he was appointed by the SPLM in the hierarchy, he qualified to be the president of South Sudan. That's simple. After John Garang passed, Salva Kiir was elected unanimously by the SPLM political party to lead the country toward the future. And the people rallied behind him. If that's the election that he's talking about that brought him president, yep, I agree with that election. But people election is this election that they're talking about that is coming up on December, which I'm not so sure it can be performed. Because I don't care how much knowledge you have of society. Number one, you cannot run an election without knowing the statistics of the country. You don't know the population of the country. You've been deceived to believe that we are only 12 million people, which is quite a laughing joke. If a small country of Uganda is 49 million, how big is South Sudan compared to Uganda? By estimate, we are more than 60 million people, not 12 million. A small town of Juba alone has about almost 5 million people. So you want to tell me South Sudan is only one region of South Sudan? Equatoria by itself is more than 13 million people. Northwest Barkazal is more than 17 million. What are you talking about? Upper Nile region by itself, you put all that together, you tell me, how do we end up becoming 12 million? That's insane. So in order to have in order to have election, you have to understand who is in the country and where are these people that are going to be lining up and vote for the presidency coming from. You have to understand the data. You have to understand the statistic. You can't just come up overnight and be like, oh, 7 million people voted for me. 7 million people, where are they coming from? What regions of South Sudan are they coming from? Are they coming from Barkazal? Are they coming from Upper Nile? Are they coming from Equatoria? You can have to be specific with your data. So that's just a lie. You cannot also hold election in the middle of chaotic war. You have too many insurgents in the country. You have volatile Upper Nile regions. You have Unity State. You have Lake State. And you want to claim what? Election. You cannot hold election without a proper military. What you have, what you call South Sudan Defense Force, it's not even a military. I don't even know what they call it. A militia group or what? You cannot run a country in election without all of these pillars together. You cannot run a country without a parliamentarian constitution. What we have in South Sudan is not even a parliament. It's not even a constitution. This is a constitution where only the king rule by decree. King, President Kiir, rule by decree. That's what you call a country. The last time I heard the word decree, it was when a king decides, then nobody else should decide. If we are a democratic republic, if we are a republic, then we should be a parliamentarian-based government system. We should not just be a decree-based. But unfortunately, That's the situation we find ourselves in. You know, that's the situation we find ourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. So